ในสถานการณ์สงครามฝ่ายที่สู้รบก็ยังต้องยึดหลักกฎหมายด้านมนุษยธรรมระหว่างประเทศนะคะแต่ในสถานการณ์สงครามอิสราเอลฮามาสเจ้าหน้าที่ด้านมนุษยธรรมระบุว่าเป็นเหตุการณ์ที่วิกฤตอย่างหนักและไม่เคยเผชิญเหตุการณ์ที่หนักแบบนี้มาก่อนทำให้การทำงานของเจ้าหน้าที่ด้านมนุษยธรรมเป็นไปอย่างยากลำบากอย่างมากค่ะดิฉันคุยกับผู้อำนวยการของ MSF ประจำภูมิภาคเอเชียและแปซิฟิกเพื่อขอให้เล่าสถานการณ์ที่เกิดขึ้นในกาซาค่ะ
How has the situation developed from bad to worst crisis at the moment? Because even UN told that the situation right now is civil disorder.
Well, the first thing I'd say is it's been very, very difficult for us to even maintain contact with our own team. We have over 300 staff. The majority of those are Palestinian, medical professionals, etc. They're dispersed throughout the north and south of Gaza. Communications have been very difficult. They were completely shut down for a period of time. We're only recently regained contact with some of our staff. So that's the first thing, is it's very, very hard for people. Our own staff have lost family members. Our own staff have lost their homes or had to move themselves. So they're relocating, but still trying to do what they can in the remaining medical facilities that are operable. And then there's a lot of media attention on the so-called civil unrest, but this is an unprecedented situation. I mean, there is nowhere for people to go. Even the south is still being bombed, and there is no supplies to sustain the basic needs people have: shelter, food, water. It is not there. There have been a trickle of trucks that have come in, very, very few, and previously there would be 300 to 500 trucks a day to provide for the 80% of Gazans who depended on humanitarian assistance. Now that has all but completely stopped. And so, yeah, people have gone beyond desperate. I mean, they are simply trying to survive in what is a completely chaotic, horrific, frightening situation.
As far as you can see, what the international community should do more or step up measure to help alleviate the situation in Gaza?
Its actions so far have been far too slow and far too weak. They have been largely meaningless. There needs to be an immediate ceasefire. This situation is catastrophic now. The loss of life is immense. Men, women, and children are losing their lives on a daily basis. There has to be an immediate ceasefire in order to be able to restore humanitarian aid. Humanitarian aid has to be restored as an absolute priority. And then we've gone from 16 years of a blockade, which has effectively kept the population surviving on an absolute bare minimum of support. But now we're in a total siege, and that siege has prevented anything from getting into the country, and it's prevented anyone from being able to get out. So we absolutely need to see those siege tactics lifted. And there needs to be a move, an international commitment to secure the protection of civilians and healthcare facilities. I mean, targeting an entire population in this way, holding an entire population responsible for the acts of Hamas is incomprehensible. It's unconscionable. A collective punishment of this nature is prohibited by international humanitarian law.
So far, has MSF team faced this kind of situation before, especially in terms of applying humanitarian international law in the situation?
So our staff are taking immense personal risk to continue to try and provide the life-saving care they're providing. There are no guarantees at the moment from anyone to assure their safety. And as we see, facilities are being bombed, and people doctors are being called upon today to leave hospital facilities and abandon their patients. Again, this is unconscionable. I mean, we have faced extreme circumstances in conflicts before. Conflicts are chaotic and very, 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 very hard in the peak of that intense fighting to be able to manage operations of this nature. You often have a pause or a period where you have to withdraw from such intense fighting. But usually there's somewhere to withdraw to. Usually there are supply routes available for you to bring supplies in. Usually you can get people from the conflict zone and you can get them out of the conflict zone. This situation is completely different. nobody has been able to get in or out of Gaza since this conflict, this latest wave of conflict began, and that includes us. We haven't been able to get our staff out. We haven't been able to get patients out. We have teams waiting, emergency teams waiting with supplies in Egypt and elsewhere, ready to come in, ready to scale up, ready to provide an adequate response alongside Ministry of Health colleagues. But they are not being allowed.
เป็นเสียงสะท้อนจากเจ้าหน้าที่ให้ความช่วยเหลือด้านมนุษยธรรมนะคะว่าควรจะต้องหยุดยิงโดยทันทีค่ะ